real as it gets.
This is Nash Gruner, the son of Olivia Gruner, and you are listening to the UCW radio show, In Your Face.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
You're listening to UCW Radio.
In your face.
Give it to me, baby.
All right, welcome back to the UCW radio show. Thank you for joining us, and we've had a great start for this new series, for this new season. We had the strength coach for a major NBA team. Actually, every NBA team is major, but we had Steve Hess with the Denver Nuggets. And we also had Wonder Woman on, Nina Bergman. And we have so many great guests lined up, and today's no different. I don't want to, take a lot of time talking about a lot of things, but I need to let you guys know that if, to listen to any of the shows, all you need to do is go to ucwmagazine.com. You can read the profiles of our guests. You can listen to the show. You can look at whatever videos are there. And, what we're trying to do is a live Periscope on some of these shows. We're not going to do it today, cause we have to, technology-wise, we have to be fully prepared for it. I think we got it solved, so we'll have it for the next show. But, again, to hear all the other shows, you can go to ucwmagazine.com, and you definitely, see what our guests are doing, because we have some really great and inspirational stories that, if you wanted to be inspired, to be motivated by someone, just pick any one of the bunch and you'll get motivated by it. That is for sure. That is for sure. Okay, so now talking about motivation, talking about inspiration, talking about, someone doing some good out there. Me being a New Yorker, of course, I have to bring a New York situation to this show, and that's what we're doing today. Okay, he's an artist, a recording artist. He's a philanthropist. He has this organization that is actually doing stuff for the kids, and I love it. I don't want to talk about that now. I'll let him speak about it, but he's also a youth pastor. And guess what? He's also a former Harlem Globetrotter. All right. So, this is going to be a great show. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Harold Lefty Williams to the show. All right, Lefty, welcome to the UCW radio show. How are you?
Good, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, I appreciate you taking the time. I know it's been a little while. We've been trying to put this together, but now we have the new series, the new season, and I wanted to make sure that we got you on because your story is inspirational, and I needed you to share this with our listeners. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. I think the best thing that we can do, so that our listeners get the full, I guess the full effect. Let's start in the beginning. This all started out in Jersey City.
Yeah, it started in Jersey City, New Jersey, man. At the early age of 9, I had a vision to play basketball. Come from nothing, come from a single-parent home. My dad was in and out of my life. I was mentally and physically abused by the hands of my father, and I just wanted a way out. I found the milk crate, flipped it over, hammered it out, hammered it in front of my house. It was a shack. A house had burned down in the back of mine, and I grabbed some nails, some rusty old nails, straightened it out, hammered it up, and there was my basketball hoop. I'd be in basketball shorts with church shoes on, or shoes that you'd wear to, the prom or to a wedding or something, shooting around, and people would make fun of me, but I had a vision. Now, I wasn't that great just yet, but I still had a vision, and that vision was to be great. I didn't know at the age of 9 I was daring myself to dream, Could have been in a gang, could have been, kicking people's doors in or carjacking people, but I was right in front of my door trying to work on my craft.
Well, I mean, in Jersey City, easily, you could have fell into any of those realms easily because it's right there in front of you. Or it was.
Yeah, it's right there in front of me. It was right there in front of me, and anything could have, anything could have happened, man. I just wanted to change my environment, and I knew, joining a gang or doing any involving myself with any negative activity was gonna, delay my dream or my path or could crush it. And so I didn't want to do that.
So you've been fighting adversity, all your life.
Yeah, pretty much all my life, man. When I was 14, my mom was diagnosed with cervical cancer, and she was given 2 months to live, pretty much. And next thing you know, man, time and time went by, and she ended up beating it and went in remission. But it didn't look good at all. I mean, they were picking and making funeral arrangements and everything. And,
wow.
it just was tough. I was cut from the varsity team as a freshman in high school, and went to a public school, Ferris J High School, in Jersey City, in grade 9, and then the mayor at the time, Brett Schundler, had given me a scholarship to go to private school, and I got a chance to meet a guy who pretty much saved my life, Mike Myers, and he introduced me to Coach Tony Romano, who ended up being my coach, and then I got a chance to go to the Poconos and meet a guy by the name of Bobby Hurley, who coaches at St. Anthony's, and I mean, the rest was history. In 3 years of high school, I was a 1,000-point scorer, 985 rebounds, all-time shot blocker in my school history. And it goes on and on and on from there.
It was just an opportunity that came up, and you were able to take it. Someone opening themselves, seeing something in you, and that's all that you needed, for somebody to believe in you.
Yeah, I just needed somebody to say, I see something in this kid that he either doesn't see in himself, or I know how to help him get over the hump. I see him working hard, busting his tail to get to where he want to be. Let me try to help him get to the next level. And that was what I needed in my life. That's what I needed around me, and I was blessed to be able to have that. But I still had adversity. What do you do when you're one of the best players in the state of New Jersey, and then here comes your last year of high school, and you can't really accept any Division I offers because you're not NCAA qualified because of your SAT scores. Things just went rough for me, and I met an Italian man, another Italian guy by the name of Ted Fiore, who happened to be a coach for Montclair State University, but it was a Division III school. But even Dick Vitale would tell you the NJAC conference is one of the best Division III conferences in the nation. I call it the conference that has a whole bunch of Division I rejects, because everybody can play easily in any Division I league there is. And I ended up staying there for 2 years, and I transferred home to the same conference, different school, New Jersey City University, under Charles Brown, and it got better and better, and I appreciated the next level. It's hard for a Division III player to turn pro. It's doggone near impossible. But I thank God for all of the things I've been able to do, and I've gotten to camp after camp. Different things was happening. Try to get in this vet camp, that camp, go overseas, this, that. Played in England, played in Japan. I've been bounced all around the world. Played in the NBA Summer League. Next thing you know, I meet a guy who introduces me to Charles Tex Harrison. God rest the dead. He just passed away early this year. He was with the Globetrotters over 60 years. I'm putting it all together as a player, coach, and all of that. His whole service to the ambassadors of goodwill. I met him, and he believed in me from day one, man. I mean, this guy believed, but one of my slogans is a delay is not a denial, because I've been stuck in a whole lot of delays. When I first met him, he wanted to help get me on. He got sick. He had a brain tumor, and he was in the hospital. They didn't know if he was going to live or die, and so they ended up not, doing the deal with me. I ended up playing with the Washington Generals, and when he got out of the hospital, man, as soon as he got out of the hospital, he called me, flew me to Houston. And at the time, Walt Disney, or the Shamrock Group, which is Disney, investment group, Shamrock Group, had purchased Disney for about $147 million. And I came in at the right time, man. They said, what, man, we want to name you Lefty. They named me a household name, and in 24 countries, all 50 states, 8 provinces of Canada, and it's really been really good to me.
Well, let me ask you a question. I want to crank back a little bit, because you were talking about, going through Division III and being, bouncing from school to school, trying to make it work. During that time, Did you, and I know it had to happen, did you at some points doubt that that you were going to be able to push through?
Yeah, I did. I did. I wasn't doubting me being able to push through and complete my education, because now I look back at people and I tell them, look here, look what I got. I made it. You know, because you're talking to a guy who's the first person, excuse me, in his family to graduate from college with degree in communications. I have a minor in business management. And so I never doubted the educational process, but you're a student athlete. Mm-hmm. I didn't doubt the student part, but I definitely doubted the athlete part, because, coming from Division III, it's like I say, man, it's doggone near impossible. No one from anybody I've played with have turned pro. I've got some of my former teammates or teachers or salesmen or in all different type of fields, and yet here I am.
And during that time when you had those doubts about your athletic future, was there someone that you were able to turn to and to kind of have them give you a boost and so you could keep fighting and keep pushing yourself?
Yeah, outside of my faith, I had my grandfather and I had my mother. My mom always would speak life into me, like, hey, you can do this. And my grandfather, he spoke wisdom into me. Hey, man, if you every time you're going to do it, you need to do it now. He used to speak like riddles to me, man, stuff that I didn't understand as a 20-year-old, 21-year-old. He said, don't let the grass grow up underneath your feet. Keep the grass cut and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't understand that stuff then. Telling you now, you need to do it now. Now is the time. Seize the moment, enjoy it. And enjoy the process. And, we live in a day and age where everybody wants things fast. We're flying from place to place. But when I grew up, we couldn't afford to fly. I remember us barely being able to have a car, and that car didn't even work. But the point of what I'm saying is, it took forever to get from place to place because we traveled. You wanted to go to North Carolina by car from Jersey. That's a 500-mile trip, maybe 8 hours drive. On a plane, you can get there in 60 minutes, and people want things so fast, this microwavable thing. And for me, it took time. I had to put that thing in the oven. I couldn't put it in the microwave, and that's what I did. I worked on my craft. I worked hard, and it paid out. It paid out for me.
Well, I think, the guidance from your mom, and actually that kind of burning fire from your mom and that guidance from your grandfather helped to get you through this. And I that's why I wanted to ask that, because everyone that goes through adversity and that's looking to reach for their dreams, they have their doubts. Everyone does. But you always have that person that kind of like throws that life into you, say, you know what? Yeah, I got this. I can do this. I can make this happen. I'm going to keep pushing till I get there. And you had that. And I think that more people should keep their eyes open and keep those people close to them, because I think it's very important.
I think that you're right. I think that you got to be a type of person who knows how to cut squares out of your circle. My circle is so small, it's the size of a period, and keep the right people around you, man, and understand why people are in your space, and don't be afraid to let them go, and don't even question it. When the time is up, the time is up, and, if you find that right person, who makes an impact in your life, cherish them. Mm-hmm. Treat them right. Treat them the way you want to be treated, and spite the day-to-day, I value relationships more than ever. It's never been a financial thing for me. Yes, financially it's changed my life, but it's never been that for me. It's always been, the relationship. I've learned a lot from the people that I've been afforded to be around, and I don't take it for granted. And that's why I created my foundation to do the same thing, to create what someone created for me. Someone looked at a kid, who said, this guy's got talent, he's got the tools, he can get there, but he doesn't have the resources. And so someone supplied to me the resources, and that's what I'm trying to do, supply it to everyone else.
Well, I think that, we're going to go into that in the second half of the show, because I really want our listeners to get in depth with that, because you're doing some great things. But I think you make a good point, Lefty, that, when you do good, or you you make it and you push it and you become a success with whatever you're doing. If it's business, sports, whatever it is, you got to pay it forward. You got to go and kind of lay it out there and send that elevator down for other people to come up, because you have people out there that are talented, but they don't have that person or that opportunity to rise up. And you're actually doing that with what you're doing with your charitable endeavors, and I respect that, and I respect you for that. And we're going to go in depth with that. Now, when you were playing in college and you got that call because they were going to bring you on to the Harlem Globetrotters, how did it feel when you not only got the call, but when you were in the locker room the first time and you put that uniform on for the first time?
That for me solidified success, because you got to understand, like, I had already played overseas. I had already, played with a previous show team, but it wasn't at the magnitude of where I was. Right. And when I got the call, I never forget. I had just left the weight room. I was working out. I didn't know how it would go. I got the call and they said, "Man, yeah, we're looking to sign you, and we want to name you Lefty." I couldn't believe it, And then getting in the locker room and actually seeing my jersey hanging up and on the back of it, Lefty. It made me remember the summers that I gave up, that I sacrificed, being in the Poconos all summer long. Thanks to Rob and Bob Kennedy, the Kennedys with the Hoop Group. I worked as a busboy in the kitchen to pay my tuition. I couldn't afford to be at basketball camp, But I was a kid who wasn't, in trouble, and people looked at me and said, "I want to help this kid. I don't know what it is about this kid, but I want to help him," And your mind goes back down memory lane when you see stuff like that. And so when you're sitting in the locker room, you're like, "Man, this is for all of what I've been through, the sacrifices that I've made and that my family made." I remember my mom took the light bill money to make sure that I had transportation just to get to the Poconos. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that. It's the little stuff. So when you put on that uniform, you're like, "Man, this is what it is." And I just didn't understand then that I was actually also creating history for what is now my family, my wife of 10 years and our 3 children. Mm-hmm. And they, looking up to me and my sons, starting to play basketball and stuff like that. So it's a feeling that you really can't describe, but it gives you chills,
Yeah, no, I do understand that, and I do empathize with that, because I deal with the same thing in my life. Your mom, seems like an amazing person. I mean, sacrificing for your children in that way, that's what it's about. You want your kids to do better than you. Even you, at this point, you want your kids to be better than what you are. And you learned that from your mom. Sure. You learned that from your mom. You learned that from your grandfather. You're looking for them to surpass you. You don't want them to be you. Be better than you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, be better than me. That's what we talk to our children about, for sure. Yeah, and I think that's fantastic stuff. And I just like the fact that you, again, during that whole time, and you're being a busboy and you were hustling to make it work for you because you knew you needed to do that. Again, you could have just said, "Hey, you know what? This is too hard. Can't do it. It's just too hard." You could easily have done that. Yeah, for sure. And not only just that, man, but at the time, not only was it hard, but you got to understand, I wasn't yet that good. When you're playing in a community and you're used to the players and you start being able to beat them, you think that you're it. Then you come out of that pool and you get put and get exposed to, some competition greater than yourself. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, you're starting over. And now you're trying to, be ranked or be just as good as this new competition. So, it was hard. You're talking about summers, plural, not one. I remember the first time I met Stephon Marbury, man, and he believed in me. He looked at me, he shook my hand, and first thing he said to me was, "Man, you got some big DA hands," and he put his hands up against mine. He pulled up in a 2-door Benz. He had slippers on with his and one gear and his S chain, and I got a chance to hang out with him that summer and watch the development of his work ethic, and he saw the development of my growth.
and just to be able to, for somebody to say, man, that kid good and he's going to be good. But I didn't know what I had. I just knew I was athletic, I was talented, and I loved the game, and you need that. You need people to believe in you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's beyond sports. It's in anything. If you have someone.
Yeah, it's beyond sports.
Yeah, because if you have people, you just need that one person to believe in you. And then you start believing yourself a little more, then it kind of illuminates, and people start seeing. That's what happened to you. People started seeing something in you, and they, as you said, they wanted to help you because you drew that to you, just for how you are inside. Mm-hmm. And I know, see, you're a lot. People that don't know you don't know how good of a person you are, but I'm letting them know, and our listeners know how good you have a good heart, man, and it kind of illuminates, and it kind of, people just gravitate towards you, and I love that stuff, especially that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
And you know what, that becomes an inspiration for the next generation, and that this is part of what you're doing, and that's what we're going to actually get into during the next segment. But what we're going to do right now, Lefty, just hang with us. We're going to take a quick break, and I want our listeners to stay with us, because we're going to be back on the UCW radio show with Harold Lefty Williams. We're going to talk about Dare to Dream. We're going to talk about everything else he has going on, because this guy's a major motivation, a major inspiration. So just stay with us. We'll be right back with you.
There's a place I know where everybody goes. Kick their sneakers off and leave it on the floor. They all know your name, 'cause money don't mean a thing. It's crazy, it's sexy, it's cool. And the women doing things that you never ever thought you'd see, yeah. Oh, baby, and the music got you moving like you were a dance machine. Yeah. That's where I met her. Come here, girl. At the Abbey. Hey, that's where I met her. You're a star tonight. Underneath these lights, if I play it right, maybe I'll get a kiss. At the Abbey. At the Abbey. Yeah, enjoy the alcohol and let your body go. And baby, don't be scared if you just lose control. We know why you came, it don't mean a thing. It's crazy, it's sexy, it's cool. And the women doing things that you never ever thought you'd see. Oh, baby, baby, baby. And the music got you moving like you were a dance machine.
welcome back to the UCW radio show. We've been speaking with Harold Lefty Williams of the Harlem Globetrotters, former Harlem Globetrotter, and, his amazing journey. And during this segment, we're going to be going into the really good things he's doing. And just for you guys that don't know, he's also a youth pastor, and I want to get into that. Lefty, welcome back to the second segment of the show.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Well, let's start. Let's talk about your charitable foundation. I think that's an amazing thing that you're doing.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it's called the Harold Lefty Williams Dare to Dream Foundation. Dare to Dream was birthed in 2007. It became a foundation in 2014. Just trying to teach the kids all across North America, definitely within the United States, but all across North America, dare to dream. To dig deep and dare to dream. Everyone's played the truth or dare game. That's where this comes from. I dare you to dream. I dare you to grab a hold of something that you have no clue exists or can exist, and go after it. A lot of people think that they need. Sorry, a lot of people think that they need. A lot of people think that they need resources to fulfill their dream. Mm-hmm. Like in terms of money, you do not need money. You do not need you need a willing heart and a great work ethic, and all those things come. The resources come, the money come to help push you into your dream. Mm-hmm.
And when you started this foundation, and I know the answer, but just for the benefit of our listeners, what was that spark in you that said, hey, you know what, I need to do this?
I mean, well, my wife and I both co-founded it, and I've been wanting to do it forever. This is just I think timing is everything, but what sparked me was I needed to help somebody else because I know somebody helped me. And I do it all the time, but I needed to I needed a focus. This is it. This is what I need to do. I need to focus on these, group of people, and grab these people and help them, and then focus on these different group of people. Because it starts with basketball. There's something that's coming soon called the Lefty's Cafe, and the cafe basically is pretty much going to fund the foundation, mm-hmm. and that's going to fund the Lefty Williams Academy. So I want to start with the sport of basketball, but I want to branch out into other sports, helping other kids, grabbing them out of crazy environments, showing them what they could be, and then help these kids get to school and graduate with degrees, and hopefully if they're good enough, man, turn pro.
And it's interesting that you're doing this because, I mean, this is a lifelong endeavor for you.
Yeah, yeah. This is something that's a heart, at my heart. My wife used to have a catering company called Food by Design, and now she's taking all of that energy, same exact thing, but we're pushing everything towards the foundation. So we're starting a cafe. Just to get it going, because I don't really want to rely on grants and things like that. We just putting our all in all into this whole foundation to help these kids. There's motivational speaking, there's Dare to Dream basketball camps, there's all type of stuff that we're doing. I just recently partnered with the Dave Thomas Foundation, so it's pretty cool. It's awesome.
And the funny thing is that you don't need to do this. I mean, for yourself, you need to, but you can easily, you and your family can live a really good life just being how you are minus this. But you have something inside of you that you need to do this because you feel like this is your calling.
Yeah, this is definitely my calling. I think that this is my purpose. This is my destiny. This and my team. But I believe that this is what I'm doing. I'm a motivator at heart. I'm a youth pastor. I think deep down inside I've always have been. I think some things will change in the future in terms of titles, but this is what I've always been, man. I've always been a motivator. I've always been a Christian. I've always loved Jesus. I've always tried to push other people to be better. I can go into a secular environment and change that environment and not make people feel bad about where they are, but motivate them and challenge them to go further into what they've always seen. They've just been afraid to reach after,
And that's that fear, and so many people are afraid to take that risk. So many people are afraid to dream. because maybe they're afraid of what they may become, or they may fail in becoming. But when you fail, that's only one step closer to where you need to be anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's only one step closer. What I like to call it the corridor experience. If you're ever going to be able to dare to dream, you have to lock yourself in the corridor and have a corridor experience. What happens is when you step into the corridor, you have to let the door close behind you. Mm-hmm. The door closes behind you before the door in front of you can open. But when the door closes behind you, we don't understand, and we get claustrophobic. The fear starts happening, and what I call that part is there's hell in the hallway. So we don't understand the hell that's happening. So much is happening, and we start panicking, and we start looking for side doors or secret compartments that can get us out of the corridor instead of digging deep and keep pursuing after the thing that's pursuing us. So once we get to the end of the corridor, the door will open and land us into our purpose, into our destiny, into where we desire to be in terms of, achieving that dream.
I like that. That's a good analogy, and that paints a picture for someone, because it is true. People are afraid to let go of the past, but you got to let go of the past to move towards the future. You can't have both. You can't transcend.
You can't have both.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. And another thing, man, if I may add, is that like so many people, they won't step foot in the corridor, but they're willing to step on the elevator. See, my thing is this: I saw the elevator, but I chose to take the stairs, and it's for many reasons. Because on the elevator, there's room for many people, and everybody's trying to go somewhere and take so many people, but they haven't even left the ground floor yet. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? Yeah. And when you take the stairs and you keep climbing, you get tired. But my grandmother used to live in the projects, and oftentimes the elevator would get stuck, and you have no other choice but to take the stairs. So you get to flight 5, 6, or 7, and then your legs start hurting. But you got to keep going.
Especially when you're carrying bags. When you're carrying bags and the groceries, man.
There you go, man. That's what I mean. But see, when you choose to take the stairs and do it yourself, you'll only take what you need, because you don't have time to carry all the excess baggage, because you know that there's a long way to the top. And so but that's another story for another day.
Yeah, but I mean, I like the picture that you're painting, because I have this thing that, and it is true, because when you pass that exhaustion as an athlete, when you pass that exhaustion phase, when you pass that pain barrier, you kind of go to another state. You kind of go to another level, because now you're ready for what's going to come next. And if you're not conditioned mentally, and your character's not in check for what's going to come next, you're going to wind up creating a disaster. So fighting for it is a key thing. Yeah. Fighting for it is the key thing. You can't. My pastor, when I was a kid, used to always say, "How are you?" And I said, "I'm hanging in there." He'd look at me, shake my hand, squeeze it tight, and look me in my eyes and say, "Don't hang. People who hang to the fall, hold on." So I've learned to just hold on through adversity, through pain, through different things that come a blow. Come with me. My wife and I have experienced different losses where we lost a couple of children through miscarriages and almost lost my wife. They couldn't stop the bleeding, whatever. And but through adversity, it's that mental conditioning and just saying, look, I'm a dare to dream, and I'm going to be great at whatever I do. You put me in the jungle, I'm coming out, with a chinchilla coat, with a toothpick. You're just saying, I'm going to do this. I can do this, And so that's where the foundation part came from, man. It's our baby. It's our new baby. It's our project. But I've been doing it for a while, but it's now actually a foundation, and I think it's going strong because I started to align myself with other positive charitable organizations that's doing really well, like the Dave Thomas Foundation. Well, you know what's interesting, as we're going through the show, and I'm putting together a picture of your life. And everything that you've done has led you to the next thing that you needed to do. And it led you to the next thing, even the adversity with your wife and your family. And again, my condolences for that. I hate to hear that stuff, but just going through that has made your relationship stronger, and you actually found your queen, and I think that's fantastic. Because as a team, you guys can overcome anything. If you can overcome that, you can overcome anything. Anything that comes your way, you guys can knock it down. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's my right hand man. You know, that's my better half. You know, because of her, I've been able to push and keep trying to work on my latest project, which is my team. I've tried so many years to find the right partner, the right investor, and then I've either had the person I thought was the right person, but they weren't interested, or I had people who were interested, but they just weren't the right person to align myself with. Right. And it was just under my nose the whole time, man. And my wife just encouraged me to keep going. And then I found my partner, which was my agent, who had been with me, you know, for the last 10 years or so. You know, it's just being with the right person makes sense because they can help you make the right decisions. You know, you can blow a door. You can be right at the point of a breakthrough, right at the point of where you need to be into achieving your goals, and you can blow something. And, you know, I always call it the 3 Ds. You know, it takes one door, one day, one decision to change your entire life. And so those are principles that my wife and I live by. And so she helped me make the right decision, even, you know, with an investor for what's now my team, the Harlem Dreams.
Well, I mean, kudos to your wife. I love the fact that you guys have your own personal team with you, and then your children and everything, and you're making the right decisions, making the right moves, and you're doing good out there. I mean, I love it. Now let's talk about your team, because we really didn't get into that. You brought it up. Let's talk about your team. Tell us about that.
Well, I had been looking for the right person for years, man. I had this whole concept where because I had the experience with a different show team, that you know they do great business in the millions, but not as great as the world famous Harlem Globetrotters. Mm-hmm. And because I had my experience with the world famous Harlem Globetrotters, I've seen both sides of the fence on how to handle business. And I said, man, if I had the opportunity, I'd do it this way. Here's a missing piece. Here's what's missing, and here's, you know. And so I did a little test run, and took me a few years, but I got the right person in my corner. And you know, I wanted it to not just be a great team, a great group of athletes, not just be a great group of entertainers, but I also wanted them to be dream chasers. Mm-hmm. You know, what would make a kid look at this athlete and say, you know, not that I want to be just like him or jump just as high as him. I want to be able to do what he do, which is off the court. You know what I mean? Admire also what you do off the court. And so, you know, founded the team called the Harlem Dreams. You know, again, I'm always about dreams. And my team literally is a phenomenal group of young men who are hungry, who are in the game, and just trying to do just that. Formed a great partnership with the Canadian military, where we entertain the Canadian troops, mm-hmm. Which is great. Formed a partnership with World Vision Canada, FELA Canada, and a few other people. Zelo Sport, which is a board and game company. Mm-hmm. So it's happening, and it's coming to pass. It's awesome.
So, and even with that team, you're again opening up an opportunity for people that probably would not have that opportunity. Right.
They wouldn't even have that opportunity, and that's one of the things that I'm happy about, because I look at a guy. I can care less if you're talented, man. If you're somebody that the crowd won't like, or that kids can't look up to, or that they can, you know, I think that your life should sing a song and your walk should preach a sermon. Which means is, you know, songs are great. People like different beats and different stuff. But when you hear a great motivational message, it makes you want to get up and say, okay, I can change now. Mm-hmm. And so when people see your walk, it should make someone say, yeah, you know what, I can do this because I just talked with Lefty and he inspires me. Mm-hmm. And so those are the type of characters that I look for in terms of players for me, show players for me. And it's really good. It's at the start of something. 2 years in, but it's going good.
No, I think that's fantastic, because, you know, I can see you being that guy that would go to that Division III, you know, school where these, you know, you may have some talent, but they're not going to go to the NBA, that you would wind up grabbing one of them to give them an opportunity just because it was done for you. And I think that's amazing.
I mean, that's the goal, man.
No.
That's the whole goal.
No.
You know, that's the entire goal, just to change somebody else's environment, give somebody at a different level a new reason to work harder.
Nope.
Because now it says what was impossible is now possible.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And,
because they know you're watching.
And you teach them just by your actions how they can walk by faith, and if they keep pushing, they can make a lot of things happen.
Pretty much. And I knew I was on the right path because I got a phone call one day. I never forget, the phone rung, and on the other end, the voice said, "Young fella," and I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "I see you. You're doing good. I see you." And that was none other than Meadowlark Lemon, which lets me know, you know, it's one of the greatest guys to ever do it. And for him to call me and tell me, you know, that he sees what I'm doing, and let me know to keep striving for greatness and keep putting my hand to the plow and keep pushing, you know.
When you get a call from Meadowlark Lemon, you know you're doing something right. You know, that's great stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean.
And you know, the thing is that when you call someone, they're saying the same thing about you.
Oh yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know. Probably, maybe. I don't know. You know, I had a kid tell me that I was one of the guys who he looked up to in high school, and one of the hardest workers you've ever seen. You know, he's now serving our country proud in the U.S. Navy, and he says, "Man, you were amazing, man." You know, I smiled a little bit, so maybe you might be right. You know,
yeah, but you see, the thing is, you don't have this horrendous ego, and you don't look at things that way. But I'm you inspire people, and I know you do. And you have kids out there that look at you and look at what you've done. You came from nothing, man, and you created your little empire where at any given time you could have fell off. At any given time, you could have fell off and said, you know what, it's too hard. Let me go do something that's easier. But you took that path that was less driven. You drove through it, and you opened up an avenue. You opened up a road, a highway, where other kids can see it and say, you know what, he did this. I can do it. Because it's only when you see somebody do something that you can believe that you can do it too. But somebody has to take that leap,
right. And
that's what you did.
Yeah, I try to be a trendsetter, and plow down roads that has been less traveled, you know, and people. I've had a lot of people tell me no before I heard yes. That's why I said one of my slogans is, a delay is not a denial. So many doors were slammed in my face, and eventually I heard yes through my perseverance. And my other slogan is dare to dream. I dare you, man. I dare you to put it to the test. And stay grounded, stay hungry, stay faithful, man. A lot of people are not faithful to their craft, man. Mm-hmm. You know, I was refusing to cheat on my basketball to hang out with my friends. Mm-hmm. I was refusing to do that. You know, I didn't want to cheat on my basketball. You know what I mean? I wanted to be good, and you know, I was looking back at it, and it paid off. So I'm definitely appreciative.
No, when you believe in something and you're committed to it, you're going to see it through. You know, when you have a lot of people that are talented. I don't care if it's the NBA, NFL, golf, whatever it is. You have people that are talented, and when you're talented and you just lean on that, and that's your whole basis because you're talented. You'll never ever achieve the success of someone that works hard. The hardest worker is the one that's going to get things done. If you're talented and work hard, you can make magic. Look at Michael Jordan, you know, legend. And,
oh yeah,
and that's what it takes. Oh, yeah. But you've done that. You've done that.
Yeah, I'm one of the select few. It's easier to daydream about it than to actually go out and work hard about it. You know, and a lot of people they rather say, you know, well, I could have been. See, I wasn't satisfied with being the best player in middle school. You know why? Because I wasn't. I wasn't satisfied with being the best basketball player in grade 9 because I wasn't. You know, I wanted to be. When I finished, I wanted to be really good. And when I graduated high school, class of 2000, you know, I averaged 30 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, 5 assists a game, 3 blocks a game. Mm-hmm. You know, you're talking about someone who was, you know, who did great. And I've had some things where I felt like, man, why was I not a McDonald All-American? I felt like I got pump fake there, you know. I played in the same high school conference as Jason Williams. He went to Duke. He was third pick or second pick in the NBA draft by the Chicago Bulls. He's now an ESPN analyst. But I say, man, what is this? Is politics? What is this? That? Or do I say, you know what? I'm gonna show him. I can get there. I had to take another road. It goes back to the car and the plane analogy, right? Mm-hmm. Where you fly and you get there quick, but in the car it takes longer, but you get there. I had to take another road, another vehicle, another means of transportation, but I got there. And I appreciate it more. Mm-hmm. Because at any given time, I could have given up when it was a thunderstorm and I didn't have an umbrella, or I didn't have a coat. I could have given up when it was a blizzard and I didn't have any gloves, I didn't have any shoes, you know what I mean? But I kept going, because eventually I knew one day my time would come, and my time is now.
And that's it. That's why you mentioned Jason Williams, and I tell you honestly, I have more respect. And again, there's no offense to him. As far as respect, I have more respect for you and what you've done than than what he's done, because you had to actually fight for what you got. You fought for this. It wasn't given to you. Wasn't on a silver platter. It wasn't, oh, well, you're good. Here you go. We want to bring you to Duke. We want to do this. We want to do this. We want to do all this stuff for you. You had to scrape tooth and nail to get to where you are today. And that is the character part of everything. And your character's strong, my man. You're big time. And I think that anyone listening
I appreciate it.
Yeah, but I think anyone listening to the show, any of our listeners, you're listening to this, you should share this show with your kids. Let them listen to it. Let them listen to Lefty Williams. Let them hear what you got to say, because I think it's important, because more kids need to be inspired and know that it was done and you did it. It wasn't given to you. You made it happen. So that, I give you a silent bow of respect, because you earned it.
Oh, well, I appreciate it, man. I definitely do. And anyone listening there, just don't give up. The definition of dream is a series of images that take place involuntarily in the mind, which tells me that it's already there. It's there. I'm talking to that parent who abandoned the dream at 8, who was dreaming of doing something great and abandoned it and got off track. It's not too late. You still can dream. I dare you to do it. You're familiar with the Truth or Dare game. I know you are. So I dare you to dream. And it's your job, it's your opportunity, it's your time to accept the call, accept the dare.
And there you go. Dare to dream, make it happen, because Lefty said so. And you gotta make that stuff happen.
There you go.
Lefty, it was a great show. It was great having you on the show, and we're gonna bring you on again, because you have so many. And you and I talk, off air, but you have a lot of things going on, and we're gonna bring you back on to talk about the things that you have going on. And I really want our listeners to get more in depth with you, with these other projects that you have going on and what's going to be happening down the road. But what I want you to do is let them know how to follow you, how to find out more about you, with your foundation, with the Harlem Dreams, give website, social media information. Now is your time to give that stuff, so they can kind of support you.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate it. Well, if you want to follow me on any of my social media, everything is all the same. The Twitter and the Instagram, the Facebook, it's all Lefty Williams 42, the number 4, the number 2. Lefty is at Lefty Williams 42. If you want to know more about the Dare to Dream Foundation, it's leftysfoundation.com. And that's pretty much it, man. I stay grounded, man, and I'm more happy to respond and talk, and I give inspirational stuff every day, each and every day, and that's pretty much it. If you want to know about the Harlem Dreams, my team, all of it is at the Harlem Dreams with an S on the end. That's pretty much it.
All right, great. Again, our listeners, check out the websites, check out Lefty, and we didn't even have the time to go through his music career. You know, you don't understand the depth to Harold Lefty Williams. He actually has music out there, and that again, and we didn't even talk about you being a youth pastor. I mean, there's so much to go into, but these are the good things that you do, and even with the music, it's not about you. You're doing that for another purpose, man. To go and kind of send a message out. You were sending a message.
Yeah, the music is not for me to be. The music is not for me to be an artist. It's always been in me. The music is for give people good quality music and hopes that they will support the foundation. You know what I mean? So even by supporting the music projects, you're supporting the foundation because all of that goes towards the foundation. And so that's what it is. I've got the music video called "In Your Presence" that I shot. We're gonna be shooting soon. Another one called "Just Believe." But yeah, that's what I love. I can sing, and I could be an artist. A couple of years ago, I turned down a record deal from Ty Scott Records, which is a gospel label. But that's all. I do that for the foundation.
You know what? Then again, that's being selfless and giving so much of yourself. And again, as I said earlier, nothing but the utmost respect for you. And I thank you again for coming on the show. And we're going to have you on again and again and again because I think this is good for our listeners to not only listen to the show but share with the people around them, because when you have someone that has this type of inspiration, I think it's important to actually spread the word and pay it forward. So I think that's what we're going to wind up doing, Lefty.
Oh, thank you, man. Like I said, I appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity, and I just appreciate it, you know.
Oh, well, thank you. And again, for our listeners, check out, Lefty Williams. Go to Lefty Williams 42 on all the social media. Check out the Harlem Dreams. Check out everything he's doing. Show some support. And if you have some sponsors out there, send them to him. Because he can use all the help he can get with making everything happen. But make sure you tune in to the UCW radio show as we have on some more amazing guests like Harold Lefty Williams. But until then, have yourself a fantastic week, and we'll be back with you on the next show.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.